obviously the biggest delay is always the registration. So Kathleen, we're very excited for your webinar presentation. So I'm going to hand it over to you, but and we'll get moving now. It's 6 o'clock. So yeah, Kathleen has been working with Greener Pastures, part of the furniture, only since March, but we are fairly new with all our combined experiences. We've got George, we've got Feroz, we've got some incredible partners, and I'm super excited to give Kathleen the microphone tonight. So
amazing.
Take it away.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. I'm Kathleen. I'm thrilled to have pharmacists from across South Africa joining us today. I mean, whether you are just exploring immigration or you're already preparing to move, this session will give you clarity. It's going to give you structure as well as inside knowledge on your next step. With me today, we have two experts that will be assisting in your journey. First, we have Feroz, our recruitment specialist. He works directly with employers in New Zealand and Australia to match helps or skilled pharmacists with the right opportunities. We also have George, our licensed migration agent, who's helped many South Africans move abroad. He'll guide you through the visas as well as the legal requirements. All right. Before we start, if you could please pop in the chat where in South Africa you're joining us from, that would be great. Perfect. So we've got a few topics that we are going to go through today, and that's why South African pharmacists should immigrate or consider immigration, why a pharmacist need it, and then we'll move on to stage 1, 2, and then 3, your life abroad, costing, and then basically getting started with Greener Pastures. Perfect. So before we go on to the first stage, we just want to obviously involve George into this phase. George, from your side, why do you see pharmacists leaving South Africa?
Well, basically, they're leaving South Africa not only because of the crime, how excessively high everything's become here cost-wise, and a lack of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So over the last 11 years that I've been in the industry, it's always been one of those reasons. And for the last, I'd say 5, 6, 7 years, it's mainly, or what's added to that and very, very strongly is children. Parents no longer see a future for them here. So they're looking for something greener on the other side.
Perfect. So that's why they join Greener Pastures. Also looking at migrating, let's talk about how many of these South Africans have left in the last 10 years. And, we've got a graph here that shows our doctors, nurses, pharmacists, basically your healthcare workers that have left South Africa. And based on the knowledge that we have and, speaking to employers in New Zealand and Australia, pharmacists enjoy strong professional support. They have excellent public health systems, a balanced lifestyle, just as George has mentioned. These countries are not just looking for skilled workers. They're actively creating pathways for professionals like you in regards to, permanent residency. They want to keep you there for as long as they can. And then with Feroz on your end, with pharmacists, why don't employers take on people that are not document ready?
Well, on that, Kathleen, it creates quite a lot of issue on their side, quite a lot of admin, and generally lengthens the process of them getting this individual on board. So that becomes quite a frustrating aspect on their side. I mean, they just want someone to come in and fit into the opportunity, not have to wait 4 or 5 months for this individual to come abroad. I mean, in that case, they can just find somebody locally who would be able to start faster. That's why it's important for the client to be document ready before we start the process or as we go through the process.
All right, makes sense. And what is the importance of keeping the options open, not just relying on one job offer?
So this creates a lot of comfortability when moving across as well. Some employers are prepared to extend a better offer. Some employers are prepared to throw in a few benefits here and there or potentially relocation assistance as well.
Mhm.
But it's good to consider the entire country when looking for an opportunity, because if you're only going to consider, for example, Dunedin, you'll find maybe there's 50 opportunities there, whereas the rest of the country has another 10,000.
Yeah,
So it
makes sense.
lengthens your process.
Right. And have you used a South African CV and you send it to one of your connections, and have you gotten a positive response on that?
A local CV template, I have actually sent a few across in terms of testing. I have actually had chats with recruiters in New Zealand personally
Mhm.
regarding the South African CV template, and it doesn't work. The preferred format that we do have is what runs through the ATS. It's what employers prefer, it's how they prefer it as well. And it makes it convenient for them to find the information because it's how they would set things out.
Mhm. All right, makes perfect sense, which means we would obviously customize their CV as well as their LinkedIn profile to the country that is applicable to them.
That's correct.
Makes sense. George, on your end, what is the common mistakes that a client would make regarding their visa application? And you have a lot of self-applicants that
Yeah,
go
you do.
onto the internet, they read up on, what is the requirements, and then they just submit their documents.
The ChatGPT is. ChatGPT still refers to the essential skills work visa, which has gone for many years, or very, very long time at least. People think that job or document ready means that they've got their passport.
Mhm.
And that is the furthest thing from the truth. That is a fraction of a percent of what you actually need. What the employer wants is somebody, as Faraz mentioned earlier, they can start immediately. Employers in New Zealand know how long it takes. It'll take approximately 4 weeks to get a visa approved. Now, if that is the case, you need to have a whole lot more than just a passport
Mhm.
ready, so that by the time you get that job offer, I have all your documents, I can lodge. And depending on how well the application is put together, work visa really shouldn't take more than 2 weeks,
Yeah.
which means the moment that that work visa is approved, you can get on the plane. And because we are all open and chat so much with one another, we will know where you are. We will know when you start, when your visa is approved. We all know that. So we can make sure that you are able to get onto that aircraft, fly to New Zealand, have a place to stay, and just let the jet lag rev off. Settle down for a few days and start your opportunity without all the worry and stress. Another problem that I see come across quite often is partnership. How do you prove it? Okay, cool. I've got a marriage certificate. I'm married. Well, I don't even really need to submit the marriage certificate. It's not a requirement. So, every single aspect of one's immigration is so highly complex, and it's not one size fits all. Every single application is different. You prove things in a different way. You can't get certain documents out of clients. You need to do it in another manner.
Mhm.
So these are the problems that we find. Perhaps the main applicant got their visa approved. I'm really happy for them. But when they submit their partner and children, there's problems. Now you're sitting in a completely different country, away from your partner, leaving all this hassle on them because you're on a different time zone and you are working for a brand new company or employer in a brand new country.
Mhm.
It causes a world of hassle. Get document ready with us. Dedicate half an hour to 45 minutes, Monday to Friday with us for the next 6 months. You can climb onto that aircraft with complete peace of mind, knowing that your family is either in the aircraft with you or they're coming 2 weeks later. You couldn't want more peace of mind than that.
Amazing. And I think that's why we have built greener pastures so that we are able to assist clients in migrating abroad, but doing it the correct way rather than delaying the entire process. With greener pastures, what we have is your migration journey, and we've got stage 1, 2, and 3. Amy, if you could just go through the next slide with us. All right. Let's go through the registration. George, on your end, a lot of clients think that, they can use the South African qualification and they can submit that abroad. Is that correct?
No, it's not. Some qualifications, yes, depends on the institution where it's issued from, and it also depends on the year that it was issued. Some qualifications need what we call the NZQA, which is it's a qualification assessment through the New Zealand Qualification Authority. Costs a little bit of money. You cannot get past this, right? We will guide you through it. We do it all the time. It is nothing unusual for us. If you struggle with something like that, jump into a meeting with any one of us. We will guide you through it. But yes, in some instances, it's a non-negotiable. You need that.
Perfect. And what delays the client by not being registered?
If you're not registered, you're months behind. A lot of people think that let's get the job offer first and we'll sort the rest out later. It's building that roof before the foundations. So in the first 6 months of our work, this is when we do all those administrative things, those small little tiny elements that prevents the delays. It ticks all the boxes, it crosses the T's, it dots the R's. You can do the work, but let us guide you on it. Or let us just do everything for you. Just makes it quicker, it's more efficient, it gives you more time to work with another member of the team so that this whole process is as efficient and clean, as smooth as possible. We like clean lines.
Basically. So what that means is obviously the earlier that you get document ready as well as registered, the smoother your application is.
Absolutely, absolutely. The immigration, the getting immigration ready part is so important because let's face it, if that part is not in place, you can have the best CVs, you can have the most amazing potential employers lined up, but you are not getting on that aircraft. Until that document ready process is in place, you're not going anywhere.
Perfect. And George, on your end, we've got a lot of clients that come in and they want a sponsored visa. Now, a lot of us look at the word sponsored and we think money automatically.
That's
And
terrible.
that's not the case.
It's terrible.
If you could elaborate on that, what does a sponsored visa mean?
Okay, so so to answer you there on that one, it's a bone of contention. It's a terrible word, especially for a South African. We're not paid what we should be. So we are always looking for something for free. It's a fact of life. New Zealand, forget the word sponsored. That's a fairy tale. That's the tooth fairy. It doesn't exist. An employer is not paying a single cent for you to go to work for them. They will find someone who can pay their own way. Reason for this is so many candidates have gone over in the past. The employer this is years and years back. The employer has paid just about everything for them, and they worked 1 or 2 months for that employer and jumped ship. New Zealand, that's New Zealand. Australia, the word sponsor, we come across it every day. It's a red herring. Doesn't exist. It's just a trick. What the exact full wording is employer-sponsored visa, which means the employer is physically giving you the job offer. It means nothing more than that. They may pay for something. It's going to be something small. It's going to be at their discretion. But at the end of the day, you need to be able to fund this. And that is the problem with the word sponsorship. It doesn't exist.
My hand is up. I just want to add to this. It's my favorite topic. Sorry, but with the whole sponsorship element, I have seen in the past where employers are willing to reimburse you for certain parts of the process, but you have to still be able to pay for it yourself. And also, just while we're on the registration topic, as a pharmacist for a country like New Zealand, for example, your registration can take as long as a year to complete. because there are set dates that you have to write exams and set dates that you have to register. So one of the big reasons for getting this webinar moving was that we're coming to the end of 2025. And if you're interested in going and immigrating to Australia, New Zealand, wherever, it's your time to start thinking about the registration and to get on board now so that we can prepare you, share the information with you, and start guiding you through, you know, all the documents that are needed for. There's the document recognition part, there are a competency exam, then there's a law and ethics exam, there's an English exam, and they all have their set requirements and their dates. So it's really, really important that you give yourself enough time, but also give us time, because I will be working with George and Faraz, helping you guys with this process. And if you put pressure on us, we're going to tell you, you started too late. So I just wanted to put that little bit in there.
Amazing. Perfect. On our next slide, if you look, we've got the occupations or the amount of vacancies that's available within Australia as well as New Zealand. Perfect. Amy, we can go to the next slide. Perfect. Now we look at our stage 1. Working with greener pastures, what we do is we assess your qualification. We check your eligibility with the Pharmacy Council. We help you get documents ready, as well as help you with your English test. All right, so there you'll be working closely with George as well as Amy.
Sorry, also with that, we do offer an English tutor. So a lot of people struggle to pass the academic English test. And at Greener Pastures, we make sure that you have all the training in your process with us so that you don't have to do the test 5, 6, 7 times. You do it once and you do it well.
Perfect. Our stage 2. All right, I see that. All right, perfect. So our stage 2, this is where the fun happens. And I think Feroz enjoys this portion because he's got clients emailing him every day. When am I getting the interview? When am I getting the job offer? Feroz, before I go into that, if you could, tell us the fun part of this job of yours.
So the fun part of this aspect, look, when it comes to the coaching, I think the fun part is having a lot of fun during the coaching itself. A lot of people tend to think they present well in an interview, but they don't realize that there's a lot more and there's a lot of improvement that can go into it. And there's a lot of aspects that's different on the New Zealand or the Australia, the UK or the Netherlands side of the interview itself that differs from the local or the natural South African way of interviewing. Employers don't ask you silly questions. So where you currently working? Well, they're looking at it on your CV. They don't really need to ask you that types of questions. But there's so much of improvement that comes out of it, and people actually present so much better moving forward that it benefits them in the long term, not just in the interview, but in their general work life itself. So I think the excitement is when the interview does come through as well, and people are just absolutely losing their minds. It's so much of fun. It's so exciting. They're all excited to get into it. And I even had a recruiter just on Friday who came to South Africa to meet the candidate. And that was just absolutely mind-blowing. It was so exciting to meet them, engage with them as well. And you don't even realize something as simple as an interview can become so exciting.
Yeah. Right. And Feroz, on your end, which industry in pharmacy is the highest demand in New Zealand at the moment?
I would say for pharmacists and assistant pharmacists as well. In terms of behind that, I would say admin and stock take would fall in thereafter. But I would say for primary pharmacists and assisting pharmacists.
Right. Right, amazing. And Amy, on your side, or with us being Greener Pastures, what do we offer as a guarantee?
So no company can guarantee a job a visa, anything. There's too many factors in play. But with Greener Pastures and with our network, I don't know if you saw earlier, we are a proud BNI member. That is an international organization. And from our side, our guarantee is that we will do everything we can to help you. We have the resources, we've got the networks, we've got George with his up-to-date information, all his visa skills, Faraz and Sam from Sam LaRue Recruiting with over 20 years of experience. We have the network, we just need the right people. But we're also very strict about the people we work with. You know, we offer meetings. If you're late, you know, if you're late for a meeting with me, are you going to be late for a meeting with your employer? So we need to make sure that you are the right candidate to represent our brand as much as we are representing you. So no, we cannot offer a guarantee for anything, but we can offer a promise that we will do everything it takes to get you over.
Amazing. So with our stage 2, like Feroz and Amy has touched base, so this is where Feroz will help you basically find the right job and assist you with, you know, everything from coaching, interviews, what to say, what not to say, how to basically approach yourself in that interview. All right. Once you get the job offer, we'll move on to stage 3, and this is where we add George back into the process. All right. So, George, on this end, with our relocation services, as well as, you know, what is required when they get over, what do we assist our clients with?
So the visa application part is my absolute favorite. Depending on what your occupation is, some people go directly to residency, some people need, or some families need temporary visas first. Doesn't matter what visa application it is, it excites me no end. That is the thrill for me. It's not about a salary, it's not about this, it's about the thrill of the approval. And it is quite a thrill, even after being licensed for 7 years now, 5 years, 6 years, 6 years. Flights, well, what do we say about flights? How much does it cost? Which route am I flying? Do I need NZETAs? Well, get the job. Let's get the visa going, and then we can look at all of that. Costing will obviously be time of the year it is. How long can you sit? The longer you can sit, the cheaper your flight, but it's going to be a heck of a lot longer flight. So it's just, there's a lot of factors, but we've got the answers for that. Having done this, been in the industry for as long as we have, our combined experience is astronomical. Accommodation, well, again, where is the job? As soon as we know where the job is, we will guide you on places to stay that aren't ever more than 15 minutes away from where you work. Kiwis don't travel. They just don't like it. Other relocation assistances, look, we've got a lot of companies in the industry that we've worked with for a long time, whether it be helping you move stuff over, advice on whether you should. Personally, I don't think it's necessary, or you shouldn't, because it's a heck of an expense. It's a long time on the sea. Your plugs don't work that side. Moisture ingress is a problem. So buy all that stuff there. If it's something seriously sentimental to you, yeah, by all means, we will help you DHL that or put it in a cube, and we will make sure you get it.
Perfect.
Sorry, Amy, you were saying something there.
Yeah. Amy, if you could touch base on that relocation services as well.
Sorry, so I haven't filled George in yet, but we've got a very, very exciting group that we're joining for relocation services. So there is an app being generated that we are a preferred partner on. And with the app, when it comes to relocation, while you're waiting for your visa application, what will happen is you will start with a questionnaire. You know, how many kids do you have, how old they are, what area are we looking at, how many bedrooms, what's important to you. And that app will basically give you a timeline process of what to do and when to do it. So if you are moving over with pets, when to reach out, who to reach out, who's closest to you. There are the most cost-effective pathways. It tells you when to put your pets in quarantine. It tells you what flights to look at. Same thing with accommodation, with insurances, with car hire. So the app is very, very exciting. And there's only a few companies in South Africa. Well, I think I'm the only immigration company at the moment that has been joined this network. It will only come out in the first quarter of next year, which is quite soon actually. But on top of that resource, we also have a preferred partner with flights. I think the last flight tickets we managed to secure for clients worked out to about 6,000 Rand per person, considering you're only doing a one-way flight with your journey. So, you know, we get scared about the costs of the relocations, but when you pace it out and you have the right team backing you with the right partners that have the same service standards, it's not so bad.
Amazing. And okay, Rose, you can go first.
Sorry, Kathleen.
No, it's fine.
This, honestly speaking, Amy, this just sounds so amazing. I mean, not so long ago, I did my visit across to New Zealand, and this would have came in so handy at that time. I mean, just the flights alone was such a drama, but listening to you now, I mean, this sounds absolutely amazing. The trouble I went through in terms of accommodation, etc., this would have made it so convenient. But we'll chat as well about this.
We're very excited about it. So this is the first time we're sharing the news. So those who've joined this webinar, you've got the first insight here.
Amazing. And then, Amy, just to touch base again, working through other migration companies, looking in what our competitors have to offer, what makes us stand out?
Oh, easy. We're global. So we put the client first. That's obviously the most important thing. You're trusting us with your life savings, with the future of your kids, the future of your own career. And at Greener Pastures, if you are looking at going to New Zealand and we find an opportunity that matches you perfectly, but for a different country, we're not going to not show you. We're going to present you the opportunity, if this is something you want to continue with. Also, as a company, we are very well connected, with George and his network, Faraz and Sam and their network, my network. Kathleen's been in the industry for a bit also. So we all have the right contacts, but we put our clients first. I think also being a BNI member, one of our main focuses is accountability. And when you are on board with us, and George and Faraz will know also because I'm always on their case, but I want to know what's happening with everybody and where you at. And I constantly want to find out, why have you not responded to me in 2 months? Like, what is going on? Can we have a discussion about it? And we will drive you forward on your decision. You make the decision, you remember your why, and we'll make it happen. So our tagline is bridging dreams and building futures. And we do that every single day. And we're very, very excited about it.
Perfect. If we look at your cost of living as well as the salary opportunities. So a lot of clients are, they comfortable with their salary, but they also want more. And I think we comfortable with what South Africa has to offer. But if you look at your cost of living in New Zealand, yes, you may be paying for accommodation, you're looking at paying for tax, but your education for your kids are free. Medical health care, you're not paying for those facilities. So you're saving more than what you're spending. So we've added a graph here for you guys to actually have a look at. And then we've also got your salary breakdown. Perfect. Also, what to expect. So timeline, you're looking at 12 to 18 months. Cost It all depends on how many individuals or how many per family. But if you have to look at a family of 4, you're looking at around 300,000 rand. But that is not an amount that you'd pay in full. It's broken down into different aspects. So you look at migration fees, flights, visas, you're looking at medicals, police clearance, and that's what we will delve more into once you in the process with Greener Pastures. Right. We've also added a few of our reviews from clients that we're currently working with, clients that we've worked with, and they all have been a success, which is great. Perfect. So we've got our frequently asked questions from the people that have joined. Is there any questions that you guys have? Amy, what do you normally hear from clients? What's the common questions that they ask?
So most clients want to find out from us, what the guarantee is. That is a big concern. And I did address this earlier, but I think George can also kind of weigh in here, the immigration side of things. You can't guarantee, but we do preempt it.
Yeah, it's very fluid. Things change all the time. Make sure that the person that you speak to is licensed. Don't listen to anybody that's not licensed or affiliated with a company that's licensed. I've come across in the last 6 days 2 scams that people have asked me to actually physically verify a work visa. Both have been fraudulent. Just do it the right way. Do it the right way. Take your time. Don't start in your mind too late that you now need to rush the process. It's fluid. It moves all the time. Work with people. Work with us. We know what's happening. We've got our fingers on the pulse, and we will overcome this. But generally, it's smooth sailing. We make sure of it.
George, you mentioned timeline. A lot of the time people ask about the timeline from the visa side. What's the standard for applying for a visa or job token, residency?
So it really all depends. Amy, it depends. I can only really comment on how long it takes me. Obviously, the better an application is put together, the quicker it's going to go through. I sometimes think candidates or clients dislike me, although we speak every day or most days, because I ask so much of them. I ask so much of them because I over-provide to immigration, and then that is what, at the end of the day, gets their visas approved quickly. From the time that you have the token, I'll have all your documents already because you've been in the process. I have your documents. It'll take me 2 or 3 hours to make sure that your draft application's done. The quicker you can read that draft application, give me the go-ahead so I can get the declaration. The quicker I can submit it. Last visa application I did took about 11 days. It was for temporary visa application. The last residency application I did took about 30 days on the dot, including 30 full days, not working days, 30 days. So it just depends on how well these applications are put together, and ours are put together very darn well.
Absolutely. I remember actually doing helping someone with a visa application, and it took close to 2 months.
Yeah, you remember at this point, if you at 2 months, I guess it's still manageable, but your employer's waiting and getting impatient. I mean, he's employed you because he needs you. He's not employing you to wait for 3 or 4 months. He needs you now. So the quicker we can get that visa approved, the quicker you can start there, and you help him, and he definitely helps you. I mean, you've seen the salaries. There's a marked difference between what you get paid in New Zealand and what you get paid here.
Absolutely. And with that being said, I mean, for our listeners, what's quite nice to know for pharmacists, industrial, hospital, and retail pharmacists are all on the green list.
Yeah.
So, George, I'm not sure if you can give some insight into the green list.
Yeah. So the green lists are for occupations that are in very high demand and where there aren't enough locals to satisfy the demand. So the green list then has 2 tiers. So tier 2 would mean that you get the job offer, you work for that employer for 2 years, and if you have good health and character and you've satisfied all the green list requirements, we can do a residency application for you. So that's tier 2. Tier 1, where the pharmacist sits, well, you're the golden child of the whole lot. That means the moment you get the job offer, I've still got all your documents. We apply directly for residency for you, right? So you don't first go through a temporary visa phase or a work visa phase. You go directly to residency with your family. As long as you meet the green list requirements, which we will know that you do. So this changes the game in totality. I mean, being a resident after a month and a week, that is quite something. I mean, your next ballpark will only come or your next milestone really only becomes when you get to permanent residency. But you need to remember that most of your benefits already come from a temporary visa stage. So you get all these major benefits of the country from then. Every perk you get thereafter, or every milestone you do reach thereafter, is just 1 or 2 little extra perks. But let's get you the job offer. Let's get you the temporary visa if you need one. Or heck, let's go straight to residency.
Absolutely.
We'll also advise you, because we're so open, even though you are tier 1, shall we go residency directly? Or maybe you're 1 person, maybe you're just 2. Maybe we look at doing a temporary visa stage anyway, and that'll get you into the country working. And maybe after a year or so, you say to us, look, George, Amy, we're now ready for our residency application. Let's look at it then. It means that you've been in New Zealand, you've settled, you've learned to love the country, you've got nexus in the country, and, well, you've got a bucket load of money saved because of your higher salaries. And, these sort of costs are not as difficult to pay for. So it's just about open communication. And like I said, I love to hear from you once a week or twice a week. And if it's not that, then there's something wrong. And we do get to the bottom of that.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Also, just to touch on what George has said, remember, as much as our clients are a bit hesitant to start now, and then when they do start, they do tend to push us to work fast, they need to look at the age restriction. I mean, New Zealand, you are looking at 55 is your cutoff age for residency.
The base turn 56, yeah.
Yeah, and then with Australia, it's 45, correct?
Correct.
Perfect. So that's also a factor that we have to look into. So if you're getting around that age, we need to start moving.
But also, considering the age factor, I've had it with clients before where they're 35 and they say they're going to wait until they're 40 to look at immigration. Immigration changes all the time. I mean, what's it? 10 more occupations got put on the green list. Some get moved down to a different tier or get taken
off. 2 years ago, the ones that we expected to go on didn't go on.
Exactly.
So things change.
Things change, but also from if you think about the South African economy, the USA tariff situation that has come up has significantly affected our rand value. And the longer you leave immigration, the more you have to budget for. And with that being said, people are not seeing regular increases in their salaries. And most people, I think in 2025, we've had some huge amounts of companies, retrenchments, and like major international companies that have closed their doors in South Africa. So, at the moment, I know Derivco from an IT perspective lost a lot of work, or a lot of employers and employees in South Africa, and Ford is expected to do a huge retrenchment also. So
Rio Tinto now in Richards Bay, it was just announced that they're probably going to be getting rid of thousands. The smelters that side. So we find ourselves in a spot of bother.
Absolutely. And your timing is important. But also with the timing, you do have to be ready for this process. And the cost is the cost. But at the end of the day, if you see the return on investment and the value of, safety, security, you don't have to pay a TV license, just basic return for your family and for your career. I mean, financial freedom, we don't actually know what that means in South Africa. And that is where, it's worth it. It's worth eating 2-minute noodles for a bit so that you can get over and start your life. It's just incredible.
And that's why so many people are doing it and have done it.
Perfect. Now, if today's session has confirmed that you want to take migration serious, the best next step for you is to email me at kathleen@gpvisas.com for your free assessment, or you could use the email address inquiries@gpvisas.com. We will assess your case individually, as well as create a custom plan for you. The sooner you begin, the sooner your life abroad gets started and becomes a reality. So those that have joined us, we'd like to thank you so much for your time. And remember that this isn't just about moving countries, it's about changing your future. You don't have to do this alone. You've got Greener Pastures that's there to guide you through every step, from the time you start right up until you basically pack your bag, get onto a flight, start working. We are there through all the communication. Until then, stay safe, guys. Take that first step. We can't wait to help you build your future abroad.